All right, Shalom Boys. Yeah. Well, it was a beautiful daddy-daughter date, and the next one, I think my wife scheduled it for July 16th for my youngest daughter, and we're gonna do it up again, but we'll probably do a little bit more activities like go-karts or something like that, because she likes that kind of stuff. But it's important. It's important to treat them well and to show them good family structure. But what I wanted to talk about was something that's very, very critical. And see, when I look at family, when I look at raising sons and daughters, I look at it from a Hebraic, biblical perspective. And when we see what's going on in the world today, we see people raising their children from a hedonistic, Gentile, worldly perspective. Now, on the surface, that may look good, where you take your child and she's a straight A student, which is good. Then you turn around and you send her off to college, modern day society, which is bad. It teaches her how to be independent. It teaches her how to do her own thing. And it's going to be more difficult unless she understands the order of family for her to acclimate to a man's home. You see it all the time on social media. These young girls are not being prepared for marriage, even if they come from married houses. And I believe the reason why is because the fathers look out and they don't see many young men being raised to be husbands. And so they teach their daughters to be independent, thereby continuing the cycle. That's what I firmly believe is going on. But when we look at it from a Hebraic perspective, they're diametrically opposed. Just like Hebraic polygyny versus Western modern polygyny that you see what's going on today. It's typically two very independent women coming together to work with a man, and it's all centered around economics. It's all centered around she can have a job, he can have a job, and she can have a job. And they're all going out and they're more powerful together from an economic perspective because all of them are working. As opposed to Hebraic perspective where a man leads his home and the wives are chase keepers at home. Chase keepers at home. You see the difference? Now, there's nothing wrong with a woman going out and starting a business like Ruth did. By selling the goods in the field of Boaz. I think that's a good thing. And my daughters will be raised to be women that understand business, that can produce with the labor of their hands, that can sow, that can grow food, and that can go to the market and set up a table. They'll be doing that under my house. So that when they go to their husband's house, they'll be able to duplicate that, run a website, develop clientele. Because you know where they're going to get their clientele from? My clientele. You see how that all works together? I tell you, man, it's nothing more beautiful than a man with a detailed, well-articulated plan of action that has proven track records of working. But when we look at how our daughters are being raised, they have way too much liberty. And this is a very, very big problem because they go out and they experience the world. I mean, it's interesting. I already have my daughter asking about the city. She wants to know about the city. She's curious about the city. What does it look like? What is it, what is it like? She's fascinated with tall buildings and going on elevators because there's really no elevators in the country. As a matter of fact, there was only probably one elevator in the country. No, there's an elevator in the hospital and the courthouse. There's only 2 elevators regionally, in the hospital and the courthouse. And the courthouse got taken out by a tornado. But she's fascinated by these things. And, I answer her questions, and one day I will take her to a city to go visit. But it's important for you to understand that these young girls, they'll raise up to be young teenagers, and they'll be looking to rebel. I mean, I've already prepared myself for it. And this is why they ain't going to have no liberty. Don't give much liberty. Don't give no liberty. They ain't going to be out there. There's going to be a time that they're not going to be out of the sight of my wife or myself. Because it's important. Because when we look at the selection process of young girls today, they always pick shit. I mean, 99.999% of the time they pick shit. And no, do I trust my daughter's judgment in that area? Absolutely, positively not. I will never trust my daughter in that area, because from a Hebraic perspective, that's not how the word speaks. That's not how the word speaks. It says that you're supposed to go from your father's house to your husband's house. That's what it says. It doesn't say anything about her choosing a husband. It talks about her being betrothed to a man in an arranged marriage. It talks about bride prices. It talks about all of these things. And so that's going to be the custom, because that's my culture. That's our heritage. And we can clearly see that in today, the modern day woman being raised, don't even get me into the bonquisha, because that situation ain't going on. Them girls are destroyed. I tell you, man, from the molestation to the hot girl summer, to all of this other lewd shit that they get involved in, they are done for. They are done for. I have no faith in their ability to turn the tide, provided that there's a serious indwelling of the baptism of the Holy Spirit. And you don't see that pretty much in this day and age, even amongst Israelite women. They all jacked up too. It's sad. It really is sad. You're going to get some type of a repair job where, your resources are going to be spent. Your time and your energy and your emotional resources are going to be spent not towards your vision, but fixing them with all types of relapses and stuff. So what we need to do is we need to break these cycles to make sure that we're not giving them the liberty that causes them to fail, because they can't choose right. They always choose bad. My daughter, who they're going to be married? A bunch of damn nerds. That's what they're going to be married. A bunch of nerds. Intelligent men. Well-spoken and well-rounded young men. Because, listen here, it's my responsibility to do that. It's not their responsibility. Just like it's that they're not responsibility to feed themselves and clothe themselves and all that, and house themselves. It's not their responsibility. It's the responsibility of their father and their husband. Yeah. And see, a lot of people, they buck against this stuff because they haven't experienced it themselves. They haven't done it for their children themselves. And when you look at these sisters and you look at their children, they all jacked up. They are all jacked up. It is sad. I mean, I've seen this stuff up close and personal, time and time. Dozens of times I've seen this situation. It's sad. So the blueprint is there. The understanding is there. The word is there. And all we need now is the living examples, because we don't have too many living examples today. Pastors and preachers and bishops and elders and teachers and right on down. We ain't got living examples of that. Show me. Put the link in there. Put the link in there and show me how many of these people brethren, Israel, out to all the way down. Show me. Give me the link of that scenario going on. It's sad, isn't it? It really is sad. We need to break these generational curses, and we need to do these things right. And this is why I'm so strict in my household. And as they get older, it'll get more and more stricter. It's a beautiful thing to hear my daughters talk about their husbands and how excited they are about having a husband. Now, people say, let them be children. Yeah, they are children. They go and they have a good time, and they go to the library, and we go family events, and they go to the park, and they go to events, and yeah, they do all of this. They're children now. I'm not robbing them of their childhood, but they'll be prepared for something greater, their purpose. And this is where we run into the challenge, because a lot of people today, they haven't prepared their children because they firmly don't believe in their heart that they're helpmates. They don't firmly believe in their heart that they were designed to be a helpmeet. But I believe that. I see that. That's the truth. Is it not? Can you tell me? No, a woman was not designed to be a helpmeet to a man. See, in the modern day society, no, she ain't. No, she ain't. She ain't designed to be that. But from a Hebraic biblical perspective, yes, she is. Which one are you going to choose? Which one are you going to choose? And the beautiful thing about these kind of situations is that I know which one people choose when I look at the mannerism of their lifestyle, when I look at the fruit of their ways. Ooh. I know a lot of people are offended by this kind of stuff, but hey, it ain't nothing but the truth. It ain't nothing but the covenant. Is it not?